Yay! Hey everyone, and welcome to a very, very special edition of the Nerdy Up North podcast. It's our 12-hour live stream. Everyone,
Okay.
yay!
Hey. Feels like I've just been through 12 hours in the last half an hour.
I'm one of your hosts, Sam.
And I'm the other host, Paul. And this is the 12-hour marathon. And we've got a lovely special guest, which we were meant to have two special guests, but due to technical issues, we've got Charlotte, and hopefully we might get King Kev appearing at some point, but he's not happy.
His headphones weren't working.
Oh, bless him.
Oh, it's a shame.
So, yes.
It really is. Sorry, I'm just sharing the link with my families, and then there we go. Right, all shared. All shared. Are we good? Am I still here?
Yeah, we're still good. We're still going. So yes, so today is a special day. Like I say, we've decided to do a charity event for the Willows Cat Sanctuary, Willow Cat Adoption Centre, to try and raise as much money as possible. We did set ourselves a £200 target, which we have absolutely smashed already. We're currently sitting at £355. So I cannot thank the members of the Nerdy Up North community enough. Yous have absolutely blown me away. Like I say, so much love for you. So thank you so much for that. So yes, and like I say, this is going to be an interesting one because me and Sam have no idea what the subjects are going to be. Each hour we are going to get a different member of the community coming on to try and like I say, see our opinions on stuff or see our top fives. And to be honest, at times, if we can't think of something, we're going to turn it back on them. So,
I'm going to apologise in advance. I am having major internet issues today. So if I disconnect and pop back on again, I'm sorry. I am really sorry. But I am here for the duration. So
we blame the storm.
Blame my crappy internet.
You are?
So the crappy internet's not been fun. So yes.
I'm sorry.
So right.
Hi,
so
Mom.
Yes. Yes. Hello, everyone who's watching. Hope you do have fun. We do promise we'll try to keep the swearing to a minimum till later on today. But I can't promise nothing. I definitely won't drop any C-bombs earlier on, so don't worry.
Please don't.
We'll leave that until at least 12 o'clock.
That's when we start opening the cans and it starts becoming a plantcast, so don't worry. I think it would be a bit early to start drinking at 10 o'clock. But yes, as we're digressing, we're just getting attacked by a cat. It is Charlotte's hour. So take it away, Charlotte.
So we had loads of topics floating about, and the one we finally decided on was inspired by last week's episode, and it is best and worst movie endings.
Ooh. Sam's gonna hate mine. I know mine straight. Okay.
We didn't make it a top 5 particularly. We've got a massive list of endings, but we didn't make it a top 5. We just thought we'd have a general chat.
Yeah.
So, no, cool. That's a good way of doing it because, like I say, I would struggle to be a top 5, but I'm going to throw straight in. I'm going to jump in. Lord of the Rings was the shittest ending ever. It was 15 endings too much. I'm sorry. It should have. That's
actually on our list as well.
It started already. We're 5 minutes in, and the hatred for the rings has already started.
Just the ending. Just the ending.
What was wrong with the ending?
There was 12 of them in one film.
Yes. That was my biggest problem. You were like, yeah, it's ended now. Let's get it's like it was just
not
too
quite.
much. It's like, no, we're gonna finish the story. Finish this bit. I was happy when he threw the ring. Throw the ring, that's it. Done. Happy. Go home. Everyone lives happy ever after. I would have been happy with that. But yeah, I know Sam's gonna kill us, so I do apologise.
No, I get it. I do get it in a way, but just because of how much I love it, I'm gonna defend it till the bitter end.
Yeah.
Like to the bitter end. I can't even think bad movie endings. Oh my god.
Best and worst, so good ones count as well.
What have you got on your list?
We've got loads. Dreamcatcher, because aliens.
Oh god, yeah. I'm gonna have to get that one.
Knowing with Nicolas Cage, again, because aliens. I put I Am Legend down.
Yeah, that was a disappointing ending compared to, like I say, the film as
compared
well.
Compared to the book,
the
ending was, it gave it a totally different feel.
No, I agree with you. Trying to think, like I say, disappointing endings. It's a difficult one as well. Yeah, like say you can think of loads of films that didn't quite hit the mark.
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Yes, it didn't really have an ending. Didn't really have an ending, did it? Yeah.
Terrible. I hated that one.
I'm trying to think. Kev's going to probably hate us, but probably Predator. It was such a great build-up, but the ending was just so like it just didn't quite hit the mark for me.
It's not on the list, but we did talk about it last night because essentially the ending is he survived because he's Arnie.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. But like there was this great showdown, and Predator decided rather than like they just do this creepy laugh thing and blow up. So yeah. That was kind of like the thing that didn't quite live up for me. But like I say, I'm trying to think of the other like ones I love, like probably the recent ones, the Quiet Place.
Oh, they were brilliant.
Both, like, even though they're like 2 parts, both endings left you like with an impact, and it made you want to watch the films again. I'm going to go back to my 80s roots. One of the best endings ever, fuck yous, as the Goonies. Seeing them joyous on the beach after saving the town. What more could you want?
For twist endings, it's got to be Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or The Sixth Sense as well for twists.
It's got to be. Because it's one of those endings where because of the ending, you can't watch it very often. Yeah. Because if you watch it too much, it's going to take like the impact of it away.
You'll lose that type of aspect. No, I completely get that. I think we've lost Sam's sound.
It's just sound that's just not working today.
Oh, bless her. We can see you, Sam, but we can't hear you. Bless you.
Well, because she's not yet, I'm going to say Ghostbusters Afterlife is one of the best endings.
All right. Oh, she just showed face. Trying to think as well. One of the other ones that she'll come back in a second. What ones I love, probably Stand By Me. That probably makes us cry. Like it does generally make us cry. It's one of the saddest, but well done endings. It's like the story throughout, from start to finish, is just so well done. And like say, I like the bit where it rounds up and tells you about all the his friends and what happened to them and where they went and so on. That one has probably the most emotional impact. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
That was one of Kev's as well, actually.
Stand By Me, yeah.
Yeah.
What I miss?
I was just talking about Stand By being one of the more impactful or like better endings because it rounds up the story nicely, and it's not like a happy ending, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a realistic ending. Like it's not like everyone walked off into the sunset. You know, the event. You know, real life actually happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. What about you, Sam? What would you say is probably one of your better endings? Michaela will probably shout and saying if she says Ghostbusters, she'll kill you.
Well, Ghostbusters is a really good ending, but it's not like an impactful ending. It just, you know, they save the day. Gosh, impact. Charlotte, you've really stumped it. Oh God, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is such a. Because they get out. Not everyone alive, but they do get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and life finds a way. You see the condos at the end flying away from the island, and it's like that little bit of a reference.
What else? I forgot. Phone booth.
Brilliant.
I love the end of Phone Booth where you just see his hand on his shoe. That was brilliant.
Again, similar type of thing.
I remember that film.
Phone Booth. It was like say Colin Farrell, just basically, and Keith Sutherland,
in a phone booth.
Yeah.
Keith Sutherland, yeah.
Keith Sutherland,
and,
it was.
Katie Holmes, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. It's
Is she?
it's so stressful though as well. And when you think about it, it's just like so confined. It reminds us a film that came out a little bit later where Ryan Reynolds buried when he's buried alive, and it's literally the film. Or the film is just sorry to spoil it. It's just him in a coffin in Iraq. He plays like a merchant, and where they've using him as a hostage to try and get money, but he's literally buried underground, and he keeps getting a phone call saying basically the person needs to pay $2 million to get you out, and like say he's trying to ring people, and the battery's going down, and literally his air's running out, and at the end he's talking to like say this guy, the people who's trying to rescue him, and I think they found him, and they hear the digging and stuff, and he's getting excited, but it's a different grave, and then the battery goes off. And it's just,
I'll have to have a look for that one.
Yeah, it's not like the usual Ryan Reynolds affair. But I was talking about like good Ryan Reynolds endings as well. Voices. Have you seen that one with that?
Yeah,
that's the cat and the dog are telling them to murder, but like at the end, he's living in this nicely. Then he like realizes he's had a complete mental breakdown, and he sees all the carnage and everything that he's caused. That was quite a good little turn as well. Are you still there, Sam?
Yeah, can you hear us?
I can hear you, but you're not moving, bless you.
You're not moving for me either. You've completely froze. I am going to lose my absolute... Sorry to roll this out, but shit in a minute. This is starting to do my head in. I don't know what else to do, apart from jump on my phone.
Hold still frozen on my screen.
Oh, you're moving now. You moved a little bit.
I can hear people, but no one's moving.
I'm still here.
Oh dear. Well, we'll get there somehow, so don't worry. It's going to be an interesting 12 hours.
For emotional endings for me, A Little Princess and Secret Garden, because I remember watching them with my mum, and she cries every time, every single time. But it is like A Little Princess is like really, I think, is quite emotional when she's reunited with her dad and stuff. Yeah, just because of everything that she goes through.
No, it's definitely like I think it's because if you've been a child of the 90s and stuff, that was the type of film that was like say the kids of the age was brought up on, I believe, like where I had like the Goonies and like Lost Boys. Jesus, we haven't even mentioned Lost Boys. What
Lost Boys is on the list? It is, yeah.
Sorry, Donna, don't hear this. I forgot Lost Boys, but yeah, Lost Boys, like say all the way through, and it's the typical. I know it's like they do the little twist thing where you find out who the most obvious Grand High vampire is, even though they try to throw you like off with a few curveballs. But I still like Lost Boys as end, and as a film, it's got very few flaws in it to start with as well. So I would always go back to Lost Boys.
Green Mile.
Yeah.
Green. Oh, it's too sad.
But it is sad. It's impactful. We have completely frozen on YouTube as well, by the way. Like all of us, we're all frozen. So sorry guys if you can't see us or just that you can hear us. The whole screen's frozen. So it wasn't just me. It's everyone now.
Oh, right, strange.
Hopefully you can still hear her.
Yeah, it's still moving on mine, but I don't know. Like say, we'll get through the technical issues and we'll get there in the end. So don't worry.
On sad endings, actually.
My husband's just pointed out if
on sad endings, I wanted to put Bicentennial Man down as one of the good endings, but Kev hadn't seen it, so we watched it last night, and I cried like a baby.
That one kind of missed the point with me. I didn't quite enjoy it as much. I know it was just like a modern version of Pinocchio and stuff like that. It didn't really have the same impact for me. Oh,
Robin
Sam's
Williams
moving again.
In it. Oh, Robin Williams. It was. We'll put it on. We'll put it on, and Kev turned to us and he went, "It's too soon." I went, "It's been 7 years." He went, "It's too soon."
Use a moving too. Use a moving around. I can see yous.
We'll just go with it, Sam. Don't worry, please. We've got 12 hours to go through. We'll deal with what happens, but like I say, we'll let that go. Try and think of other ones as well that like probably has a a big impact. I love Big as well. How creepy. Well, Big is a bit of a creepy film when you think about it deep down, but it's I love the innocence of it, but like how he he realizes that he has to go home, and I'm trying to think of all the Tom Hanks films now, but like I like say when he goes back to being the kid and the suit's too big from him, and then he walks in the house and his mom gets excited, and as such that's probably another one. And going back to Tom Hanks as well, I love the ending to The Burps, how it makes you all the way through thinking he's being paranoid and like torturing this poor family, but when it turns out they were murderous people. So it was like brought that aspect back into it. It was quite interesting. So I quite like that. The Burps as well. I would throw in there.
It's kind of a justified ending, that one, isn't it?
Yes. But I like the ensemble, all like the different aspects as well. I'm going back to all my feel good movies now. Like I like the ending. What was it? Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. John Candy and Steve Martin. When you feel out like say why John Candy's doing it, and then Steve Martin, who's like a bit of a tit all the way through the film, you can understand his frustration with John Candy, but the whole at the end when they realise what that it brings them into the family and becomes friends and stuff. That's got like quite a lovely feel good moment to it as well.
Yeah, there's some really nice feel-good endings. I'm just trying to look at the list that we've got. There's a couple of Disney ones on there. Beauty and the Beast.
Can you hear me anymore?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you see us?
Yeah.
Worst case, if this continues on much longer, because I'm on the verge of crying my eyes out, I am going to uplift my stuff and go onto my husband's computer.
Okay.
That's me next move if it does it again, because I am on the verge of tears at the moment.
Don't worry.
You should hear us screaming. You should hear us screaming when I'm disconnecting. I am losing it.
Don't get it again. Like I say, we've got 12 hours, so we've got a lot of things to try and work out. Even if it comes to using your phone for a bit, don't worry.
It's only 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
I can talk shit with most of the people, don't worry.
Not how I had today planned at all. What you just mentioned something there, and I was like, yes, I agree. Now I've totally forgotten because my mind's just my head's up my arse at the moment. All
right, like we were just talking about like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Burps.
Never seen it. I've seen The Burbs, never seen Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Oh man!
And if I have, I can't remember it.
We've had this argument before about you and John Candy films. You need to go away and watch them all.
I have The Great Outdoors. I've seen that. That's fantastic. I love that. I think that's so funny.
I'm trying to think as well. Home Alone, perfect ending.
Home Alone, yeah, both of them.
Yeah,
both of them.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good one.
Just not the new one. The new one's terrible on Disney Plus.
I haven't seen it. It's exactly the ending you expect.
Yeah,
but it's perfect.
It's the ending you wanted. I would expect that. That's the thing. It's like. I'm trying to think what can Kev suggest as well, because I know he'll be sitting there sulking in the background, bless him.
Good or bad? Because there's a few.
We'll go for the bad ones because I'm struggling with the bad ones, to be honest.
Matrix 3.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
What else? This one really annoyed me. He said it.
Actually, before you go on there, even the Matrix 1, I thought was a brilliant film, but the ending really pissed us off when he done that whole Superman thing at the end. It was just like, oh, I know what they were trying to do, but it just looked shit.
I think it's still probably the best ending of the trilogy, though.
Mm-hmm.
The first one.
No, but if they ended it where he stopped the bullets, when he realised he could, he can control it, that would have been then just done the speech saying, I know what I am now, and I'm coming looking for you. But they didn't need that whole flying off like Superman, and then they used it in the other sequels, which just didn't work, and it kind of threw you out of the film a little bit. So
they used it in the second one quite a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, because they even referenced as his Superman impression as well. So for me, that one kind of fell a bit flat. I would say as well, Spider-Man 3 was a bad ending.
God, yeah.
That's on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Spider-Man 3 and the Predator. As
Which
in
one?
the
All of them?
Predator. No,
Oh.
just the Predator. You know, the Predator when he comes out in the suit at the end.
Yeah.
Was it the newest one?
That was the Shane Black one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that wasn't good.
Breathe, Sam,
Hush.
breathe.
Right, I'm gonna do it now because I am getting on the verge of losing my temper. So you two crack on, and I will be back with you in a short period. Okay?
Okay.
Don't worry, just don't stress. All right.
Our speech is in a bit.
Hush, the animated Batman.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah.
Because that annoyed us so much that they changed the ending.
Yeah, the
so
Tommy
much.
Elliot thing. Yeah. Because it made no sense to have the Riddler as the bad guy when he was actually scared of Tommy Elliot. So, and the comic was iconic as well.
It made him such a pointless character in the animation as well. Like,
yeah,
what was the point of that?
No, certainly. I watched that because like I said, because I think with the animation films as well, especially when they do the comics, they do take a lot of license and they do try and change it up to try and so people don't know what the twists are, which again I can understand them doing, but it doesn't work. It kind of throws you. They did the same with, like, they made us feel really uncomfortable. What was it? The
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, and when they had Barbara and Bruce having that kind of relationship, I was like, whoa, this is not
wasn't needed at all. Wasn't needed at all. Like they kept most of the story the same and they kept the ending the same, but I think they added so much that just wasn't needed. It took the focus off what the Killing Joke was about.
Yeah. There's been a few good, like I said, the animated ones. Like I like the ones where they do the Justice League, or they've done the recent one, the Dark Justice League, where John Constantine kind of had
the Dark Justice League.
Had to do something where it kind of reverted everything back and changed the timeline again.
I love Dark Justice League.
That was always done well, but yeah, I like the Hush one probably was the biggest disappointment as well, because I loved the comic. The comic was absolutely brilliant. But the whole twists in it, and I was expecting, like, say, to go at the Tommy Elliot route because that made sense. But when they had the super powered Riddler, I was like, what the fuck? But yeah.
Because it was like, if you're going to do that, why even put Tommy Elliot in the animation? It made him completely pointless. Like, he was just there.
Yeah. I'm going to actually throw this out there as well. When if we're going to do like good or bad endings, I'm going to mention a few TV shows. I think Dexter was probably one of the most disappointing endings I've ever. I know they've rebooted now, but I know the last season wasn't great with Dexter anyway. They made a lot of mistakes and a lot of bad calls for some reason. But the ending just wasn't satisfying at all, and it made it hard to watch because I would go back and watch Dexter, but stop at a certain point. I would never go past that point because you knew what the shit was going to happen. Yeah,
it was really anticlimactic. It was just sort of really.
Yeah, it's like, is that how they're going to end it? And like how they killed off a character like Deborah as well. That was like the way they treat her. That was just so rage infused. I got really angry at that as well.
She deserved so much better.
100%. And probably the greatest Game of Thrones. If Sam was on now, she'd be losing her shit. But that was just lazy writing with the Game of Thrones. They went through probably 3 seasons of material and rushed it into like a half a season.
The thing is, though, they had so many like good fan theories that they could have just went, we'll go with that one, and they were like, no.
No, like, exactly. That's the thing with when they're going through. They probably did. We're picking up fans said, they've guessed this one, they've guessed this one, and then doing Bran as the king. I was like, this is so much bullshit. But then Jon Snow ended up behind the wall where he wanted to be. But it was like, so what was the point in going through everything that he's done just to end up where he started?
There was no point in going through like his lineage and his family heritage and stuff just to be like, we are going behind the wall anyway.
Yeah.
Bye. And with Bran, Kev called it with Bran. Actually there was a sweepstake on at work, and he said that nobody would be sitting on the throne and that Bran would be king, and he was really annoyed because he lost, but that is what happened, but he lost due to like a technicality. I was like, well, that is what happened. There is no throne, nobody's sitting on the throne, it was destroyed.
Yeah. But
Game of Thrones wasn't good.
particularly took that bad.
He was raging for like days.
I can imagine. Like he's raging now. We're sitting there. I bet he's still got his crown on, sitting there moping because it's not working, is he?
He's gone into the other room so he can watch it.
Oh, oh, bless him. It's his last few days of the crown as well. So the last few. I hope he's enjoyed being King Kev as well. Bless him.
He's milked it for all it's worth.
But he's all user profiles down to King Kev as well.
Yes.
Great endings of TV shows. The two that jump mine is one I've watched recently, Watchmen, the first season.
Still haven't seen that yet.
Oh, I'm not
spoiling
it though,
on it.
Yeah, it literally ends everything perfectly, and you don't need a second season or for any more stories. It's just a standalone and done absolutely like brilliantly. If you like the comics, if you like even if you like the Zack Snyder Watchmen film, which again does take a little bit of liberties, but it is quite close to the comics. This one is closer, and it expands on something. And I even think Alan Moore would enjoy it, which would probably be a shock for the community. Alan Moore enjoying something there. Also, the other one I was going to mention was The Sopranos, and I know The Sopranos gets a lot of flack just because it doesn't tell you how it ends, like fade to black. But I think it's great because it leaves you to think and leaves you to ponder, and that's what I like about TV shows at times, or even like movies, where it doesn't have to give you all the answers. Then will be my two big standouts for TV shows that I think ended like couldn't have ended better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, mine's going to be an obvious one, and it's Supernatural ended perfectly. I know like a lot of people were unhappy with it, but I think for when it was filmed, considering it was during COVID and that, for when it was filmed and what they did, I think it was perfect. You saw who you needed to see, and you got the endings to the Winchester story.
Yeah,
it was what they wanted. Dean was never going to be the family man who settled down and had a wife and kids. He was always going to die hunting, and Sam was going to be left behind and settle down and have a family. And that, like, we were joking about it. We were joking about it when we watched it, and Kev was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, I'm going to cry." I was like, "I'm not going to cry." I was joking about going to cry. I'll be all right. 15 minutes in, tears for about an hour. It was perfect.
No, I really enjoyed it. Again, I know I got a lot of hate online, but it was filmed in like a really difficult circumstances, and what they could do and who they could get in and stuff. I know I was gutted. I wanted to see more. I wanted like certain characters to return, but we got what we got. But I thought it was just really fun that after the beats, like beat God and beat everything, they were no longer protected by that, his storytelling. The first hunt to go on, he gets killed in the most idiotic or like Undine like way as well. He didn't even go out like in a blaze of glory. It was like he got pushed up against a spike.
I loved that it sort of it brought it back full circle, because like you had everything that had been through with like the Leviathans and God and angels and everything, and then the last episode was just them two on a hunt, like monster of the week type thing.
Yeah,
and it brought it full circle. My mum's just said, my mum's just said Angel was one of the worst endings for her for TV.
Oh, I'm gonna have an argument with your mum, I think. So. But like before we move on to Angel, and I'll upset your mum a little bit. Going back to Supernatural, I just like the whole dynamic for the way Sam and Dean ended. Again, it was nice to see Dean go through heaven and wait for Sam, and you saw that aspect. But I thought the true ending was them two saying goodbye and Dean saying it's okay. Yeah, that's what got me. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it.
Yeah, that was the bit that got me crying.
Yeah, it was just the look at, like I say, on the eyes, and then Dean just going, "It's okay. This is okay. I'm happy with this."
He was ready.
Yeah, I think he'd been through a lot at that point. Like say, 15 seasons. Again, I know you'll disagree, but it was far too many seasons.
It was. There was a good few seasons you could cut out and just be like, right, let's just not. let's just not.
I'm trying to think of if we're going to go main, and I would say probably my worst season of Supernatural was the Leviathan one. It was just it didn't make sense, and they made these super badass things that couldn't be killed, and then they just disappeared. It was just they realized they made a mistake with that one.
Yeah, there was some really, really good episodes in that season, like Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bobby. But this season as a whole was just a bit
Yeah.
And I think they got the deeper they got into the whole angels and God thing, it kind of took a turn a bit.
Took it away. Yeah, no, I completely agree. But they had some interesting characters. Like I love Crowley. I thought Crowley was one of the best written characters.
Crowley was one of my favorites.
Like I say, I'll always and will always be a Charlie fanboy. Like I say, I fell in love with that girl, and I still, like I say, I've got a pop somewhere as well. But I think she might be there somewhere. Nick with D. But yeah, like I say, them were two of my favourites. And I was disappointed the way they handled with the Crowley ending as well. I know.
Yeah, he deserved a better ending.
Yeah, but I think with Supernatural as well, again, this is me not being overcritical, but there was no, it started off to the point where you weren't even bothered when people died, because
you knew they were coming back.
So it lost that impact. But like, as I said, with the last episode, it did end well. Like I say, it was probably about 4 or 5 seasons too late, but done well. So now, sorry, Charlotte, man, but Angel's ending was great in my book, because I like the fact that, again, it's similar to like the Sopranos, where they beat the big bad, but then there's worse to come, and they're getting prepared to fight, and fighting this fight that they don't know that, well, they probably won't win, but you don't see it, so it leaves it up to the imagination. I know they brought out the comics to explain things a bit more, but I thought it was like quite a fitting ending for Angel, because he didn't deserve a good happy ending.
I think it was the best ending they could do, considering it just got cancelled. Like it got cancelled and that was it.
Yeah.
And I think it was quite brave of them not to, because I think they found out it got cancelled about halfway through the season, didn't they?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And I think it was quite brave of them not to sort of rewrite it and put like a rushed sort of wrap of everything up ending in, and just leave it open like that.
Yeah.
So I can understand why people were disappointed, like Mum. But I do think it was sort of the best of a bad situation. I think because it meant the comic sales were a bit more as well, because people wanted to know what was going to happen next.
No, certainly. I think as well with when you put the two back to back, I prefer the Angel ending over the Buffy ending. Because I can understand why they did that with Buffy, but it kind of lost track when they said, "Oh, all these girls are now going to be slayers," and it gives that potential. It just made it made Sarah Michelle Gellar's character less special, and I think she deserved a little bit more than that as well.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a catch-22, because I think it was kind of a perfect metaphor for like Buffy in general, because Buffy in general, she always felt really pressured, and why me? Why am I the only one? And stuff. And that ending kind of opened it up so she wasn't so alienated.
Yeah.
But it did take away from her being the Slayer as well.
Yeah.
So it was
100%.
kind of a
it was kind of. I don't think that, to be honest, with how long Buffy had gone on and what was happening and stuff, it was always going to be a little bit of a difficult one to end right, if that makes sense. Because some fans, again, wanted it to go out in a blaze of glory, but it kind of didn't go with the prophecies as well, because the prophecies was always like the Slayer must die, or the Slayer must end in a certain way type thing. So that was always what you thought was going to happen, but you kind of didn't get that, which I can understand more. I know, again, with afterwards, they brought out the lore, and they brought out like the comics and the books and stuff, and extended the story a little bit that way. But I don't know. I think it's one of them shows that it's about time for a reboot, I think, as well. I know it's doing well on Disney Plus and stuff like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing a new story or a new tale about the Slayer. I think you watch it,
you watch it now, and it's quite dated as well, some of it.
Oh, I'm watching the X-Files now, and some of the special effects and that, you go, oh. but yeah, see, it was just when the special effects was coming in and start using the like the CGI over the practical effects and stuff like that. But yeah. Some of the early seasons of Buffy, especially when I think one of the episodes when was it Xander's teacher that turns into the praying mantis? It was just the most awkward and weird thing I've ever seen.
The prom, is it the prom episode where they've got the hellhounds in the cages? Oh, that was awful. That was terrible. Even for then, that was terrible.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time, but yeah. Just trying to think of like other shows that see your mum's got us talking about Buffy and Angel now. At least Donovan's sister Sam will be happy. I think with shows as well, some shows don't know how to end. For example, like the Arrowverse universe, they've went on for too long, and now any ending we get is not going to be like say the ending we want or live up to the hype type thing. But I think with especially like say the TV format, it's hard to get the perfect ending. If you think about it, there's not many TV shows where you can think and say everything ended perfectly or ended the way you wanted it to. Like especially in the last 10 years, like one of the ones I would say probably Red Dwarf. I think they're so scared of ending Red Dwarf they just keep turning out more going.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's lessening the show now because like the show was so brilliant.
Yeah.
And the more they push it, the more it go on, people are like, oh well, it's another Red Dwarf, and it kind of just takes the appeal away a bit, takes the specialness away a bit.
Yeah, completely understand. I'll probably say another disappointing ending for film wise. Like I say, I'm trying to take over in my head as well. The new the new the second part. The first part was like done well, but the second part, the second film and all was a bit disappointing for me. But the way they ended it, again, if you go back to the original it as well, it wasn't handled well. It didn't end well as well. So that was always a little bit of an issue on my side. I think we've talked about this before when we were talking about Stephen King. He doesn't do horror endings well.
Yeah. That's where I got the idea from for the topic.
It's weird as you say, because I'm sure we've mentioned this in the podcast before, but when he does like when he gets adaptations from not his horror stories like Stand By Me, Adapt Pupil, The Green Mile, again, I'm not one of my biggest fans, but I think it works well. Shawshank, the films kind of end better, but when you get like films like they're in horror, you get like Dreamcatchers, like say the TV show The Tommyknockers, which again was bizarre, but
I think Stephen King's one of the only ones where you could have like if you're making a list of good and bad endings, you can have them on both.
Yeah.
And you can guarantee the majority of the bad endings will be his horror stuff, and the majority of the good endings will be like his drama stuff. And he's probably one of the only writers that you can actually do that with.
Certainly. Well, not his newest stuff. I still kind of finished I tried reading The Cell and that was terrible. I'm sorry. I just couldn't get away with that book. Watching the film.
Talking about Stephen King, Castle Rock season 2 was brilliant. That ending was brilliant. I'm so gutted we're not getting another season.
Yeah, it's strange because
the
it looked
first
beautiful.
Season as well.
Yeah, it looked like well made as well. I know the bloke who does the podcast with Kevin St. Mark Bernard. He was the writer on it as well, and some of the stuff he's wrote was great. But we watched a couple episodes of Castle Rock, and it seemed to be quite interesting, but it just didn't quite get there, if that makes sense. It didn't grab us to the point where I was like had to binge it type thing. It would have been one of them ones I stuck on from time to time. But I know with you being like one of the plugs we haven't got in yet, co-founder of the Nerdy Up North Book Club, you like say you are the book nerd, so it would have been singing to you like everything about that. The amount
of research that went into it, because like literally every other scene has like a little Easter egg or something from a Stephen King book, and let's face it, there's a few Stephen King books out there. But like you can just every episode you can connect to some part of the Stephen King universe, in both seasons, and it's just and Lizzie Kaplan, who plays young Annie Wilkes in season 2, is unbelievably good, unbelievably good. She's terrifying, but she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Oh, cool. I will go back to it. Yeah, I will go back to it. It's one of them shows that I probably would like try again. It's just having the time. There's that much things now. Like I'm absolutely loving the new Dexter as well. Glad that like rebooted, but I was quite sad to see that one like kind of go. It didn't kind of get what it does. So it looks like Sam might be joining us. I don't know if she is. Are you there, Sam? Oh, she's going to be losing it. It's getting angrier and angrier now. No.
I can't see it.
All right. It must be still connecting on her side then. Yeah. But yes, just trying to think as well. Because I can see you. Need to turn your sound on. Just smiling, but can't hear you.
She's smiling on the outside.
Oh, bless her. I can imagine what she must be going through. I would be absolutely distraught.
It's all right. It's only the first hour. Nobody's up anyway. It's Sunday.
Yeah, we've had a kind of few. Like, say, looking in the chat, there's been quite a bit of a conversation going on there. People agreeing with you with Supernatural. Donna's keeping everyone informed. Jake's there. The little shit Sean's there, the little bastard.
I know my mum's watching because she keeps on texting us.
Oh, bless her.
She's just said for endings, The Birdcage.
The Birdcage. Oh, I haven't watched
Robin
that.
Williams and Nathan Lane. That was a good one. I like that one.
Such a long time. Yeah, I haven't watched that in a long time. I love the colours in The Birdcage as well. I know it sounds strange, but it was really entertaining. Like everything about it. Like I say, I'm a big like flamboyant musical fan and everything. Bless her. Can't hear you, Sam. Sorry. See if she get back. Is she working? No.
But we can see her apparently.
Yeah, we can see her. You look lovely, Sam, though. But
as far as musical endings go, I love the ending of Sweeney Todd.
Yeah. I'll let you talk about that one because
I love the ending of Sweeney Todd because it's such a dark musical as it is.
Yeah.
And you think because the rest of the musical is so dark, you think, oh, it's going to be a happy ending, but it's not. They just end up all dying, essentially.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not a joyous film, but
no.
Again, I know it's a musical, and I shouldn't be too, but to me, a musical you don't have to sing every word, and with that one, when everything was singing every word, it kind of threw it. And bless Johnny Depp, he tried, but he doesn't have the best singing voice. Again, they must have went through it like crazy with autotune as well, just to try and get a bit of a melody and stuff. But yeah, that wasn't for me.
Wizard of Oz, the end of Wizard of Oz, when it goes back to black and white.
Now you'll make us cry if we start talking about the Wizard of Oz. That is such a special legacy. I've got so much connection with the Wizard of Oz. Like I say, growing up, like I say, with my grandparents, my dad, my mum watching it as a kid and being totally amazed when it goes from like that sepia to the Technicolor, which totally, like I say, hadn't seen anything like it, and the characters in it as well, like even the Munchkins, the creepy little bastards they are, reminds us of Sean. Being quite
the witch
quite
is
well
still the witch
terrifying.
Is still terrifying. She's horrible.
No, amazing, but like I'm trying to think of the words to think, because like even during my wedding we had like element, like we didn't, because Nick, my wife, doesn't like in your face references to things. She likes little hints. So during the wedding she wore ruby red slippers.
I've seen them. They were gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, that was the second pair she bought, because we'd actually bought, because she had her eyes on these Vivienne Westwood ones that went out of stock years ago, and we had to try and locate them. And we got them, but when she wore them, they were the most uncomfortable things in the world, and it kind of made a nitty cry. We didn't want to make her cry on the wedding day. So that was that. But other than that, like, all the bridesmaids had like each color of the rainbow, so they weren't wearing the same dresses. They were just like, they were given a color, and that they had to find a dress that matched that color. So that was a nice little touch. And like when we left after the ceremony and stuff, as we left the room, we had Somewhere Over the Rainbow playing again. It was just a nice little touch. But yeah, and as you said, that ending, like, say, you can't help but get emotional when she goes back home and she sees everyone's like, you were there.
Yeah.
It's like, say, one of the top films. Say, again, I know probably some people would say it's very dated, but if they ever try to remake that, I would be so upset. It would probably break us. But yeah, Wizard of Oz, wow.
I can remember being amazed by the horse that changes colour when I was little. And like, I watch it back now and I like, it's so obvious what they did, but like, I was amazed by it when I was little.
Yeah, no, I absolutely adored, like, say, the Wizard of Oz for that aspect. Like, that took you out of there that you didn't expect. Like, I still get shocked that they used, like, for the snow, they used fucking asbestos. So yeah, the health and safety went out the window at that point. Trying
to look at what we've got on the list. The Lion King.
All right.
The end of The Lion King. I said this one because I think the end of The Lion King, when like Scar's demise, where the hyenas attack him, is really dark for a Disney film.
Well, Disney always went dark with certain things. Like,
the shot of them just standing on Pride Rock when it's raining at the end is beautiful. I love that bit. And then the way it literally comes like full circle, and you've got Rafiki holding up the cup at the end. I love that.
No, I again, it's not in me. I'd say you'll laugh, but it's not in me top 5 Disney films. So that'll be a hint for next week. But it is one of my favorite Disney films. But I know it sounds strange. It's still classed to me as one of the newer ones. Because when they came out, like I say, I had all the back history of stuff. But yeah, it is a nice ending. Well, not a nice ending, it's a great ending. But the only thing that's kind of spoiled it is when they made the sequels, because it didn't need to be made. It's one of them sad things where it kind of didn't need to be done, but it did. It happened, and we got what we got, I guess. But I think a lot of things as well is, especially like the Disney films, a good villain would make a good Disney film and a good ending, because you always want to see the comeuppances. Like I say, the more modern ones, like a good Disney ending probably is the film that broke me was Up.
It wasn't the end of Up that broke me.
Oh no, I'm saying the start was like heartbreaking, but then you go through and you get the ending that you get, and it was just like a nice note. And I know you done, I think it was a post the other day saying which characters would you want like to live longer. I think I've disagreed with the Ellie one, just simply because she lived a good life. I know she didn't get to go on that adventure, but she got to experience like what she did, so that's why the others ones kind of played a thing. But I love Up. It's one of my favorite Disney films.
Brilliant, it is. And Doug Days was brilliant as well. It was the perfect addition, Doug Days. Just before bless him.
Yeah, it was very Tom and Jerry aspect. Like I said, I got the feeling of all Tom and Jerry cartoons from Doug Days. That was the aspect I got from it. But trying to think about the Disney films, like, and go back and say Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was a nice ending. But
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, yes. Are you going to sing for us now? Are you going to go all Angela Lansbury on us?
Not even slightly. We'll save that for the Disney one.
Oh yeah. It's part of the rule of coming on the Disney podcast. You have to sing. You have to sing at least one Disney song.
When it's not 10 o'clock in the morning and I've just woken up.
Bless you. Well, like I say, I've got a full day of this. It's got to keep me entertained as well, so don't worry.
Disney endings. I think Aladdin is one of my favourites.
Yeah. No,
just for the genie.
Yeah.
When like the genie getting his freedom at the end of Aladdin is just brilliant.
I dare you not to cry.
I know. Well, now, yeah. Yeah, that's one of the best ones. And if it wasn't Robin Williams, it wouldn't have been the same.
No, it wouldn't have the impact. It wouldn't be as as special, shall we say? But yeah, that one was like I say, all the way throughout. It's one of the great films.
It's brilliant. Robin Williams wise, the ending of Jumanji's on my good list as well.
All right.
Because I just love the little scene right at the end where they're having the Christmas party and the kids are there with their parents. And they're like, oh, we're going on a trip, we'll be back. And they just scream at them, no, you've got to stay here. I love that end.
Yeah. No, that didn't even pop on my head for like Jumanji. It was like so well done. Like I said, again, I'm glad you got that little aspect where you saw them a little bit older. The thing that would have probably lessened it for me would have been if they ended it when they got back and they're sitting there and they see it. That again might not have been as impactful for me as well. I'm trying to think of films that probably Kev would have picked as well. Because
Alien 3.
Alien 3, all right.
Alien 3.
When she goes into the lava.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have cut it off there when they made the next one. Was it the Alien Resurrection? That was absolutely dire.
Yeah.
Sequels that we didn't need.
Terminator.
Right. The first one or the second one?
The first one.
Great. Good choice, Kev.
And Inception.
Ah, yes, the little spinning top.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't know if he's still there or out of there.
Yeah, he also said the original Night of the Living Dead, where the only survivor gets killed because he's black, basically. So the original Living Dead and The Mist.
Yeah, The Mist.
And
The Mist. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. You went there. Oh, that was horrible. What a good film, though. I kind of let you walk past that one, The Mist. Wow. Because you don't see that coming. You do not see that coming. I know, like I say, it's a remake and stuff like that, but I didn't see the original. I saw the first one.
I don't think I've seen the original.
Yeah, and when you see that, Jesus Christ, and when you realise, because he's killed them so they don't have to be eaten, and then you see the soldiers knocking on the door, you just think,
too late.
Fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you've nailed it. I think you've won with that one. I think you've actually... don't think you're going to get much better than that.
He also said, which is a really surprising one because he hates the film, The Thing, the end of The Thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I can see it. I can understand it. Sam looks really upset, bless her. And she's gone again. But what I wanted to end it on, because I know we are running out of time for your last hour, which has been like a pleasure. I didn't think I'd be doing it solo, but still.
That's all right.
I might have to keep you on till the song comes back. So you're having an easy day, but no. Probably is one of the ones that I want to talk about a little bit more when we talk about top 5 Christmas films. I know I'm probably spoiling my top 5 every day, but White Christmas. Bing Crosby, when all the soldiers come back, we'll follow the old man wherever he wants to go.
It's
so
a
many
Wonderful
good memories.
Life.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful
well.
Life. That's my dad's favorite Christmas film.
Yeah.
And he always, like, my dad hardly ever cries at films, and he always tears up at the end of that film.
Clarence got his wings. Good boy, Clarence. Yeah. Like I said, them type of films have just got so much nostalgia and memory of, like, say, being a child watching them and seeing, like, as I said, seeing your dad well up. Like, seeing my dad cry during White Christmas, seeing my granddad cry during White Christmas was something I'll always remember as well.
One of Kev's actually was Miracle on 34th Street.
Ah, right.
The Attenborough one.
Attenborough one, yes.
The Attenborough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that one, not just the ending, but the whole feel of that film as well.
I love,
it's just got goosebumps all over, and especially with it, I think we've talked about it before, not on the podcast, but in the Facebook group, the scene with the deaf girl when she's like doing the hang tails, and she's just, and they says to her, she just wants to see Santa Claus, and the reaction, and he says, oh, it's fine, and starts doing it and seeing her reaction. Jesus, I'm welling up now.
He was born to be Santa Claus. Absolutely born to be Santa Claus.
Cool.
Like, yeah.
No problem. So I don't know what's happening with Sam. So again, I'm just going to send her a quick message, say she's okay. I'm just going to send Donna a message as well.
I can stay on until Sam, if you want.
If you don't mind, that would be great.
Unless somebody else wants to jump on.
So was there any others you wanted to mention just while I'm messaging?
How to Train Your Dragon
right.
was the trilogy. Every single one of them had a brilliant ending.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that one. The third one made me cry, actually. When there was, it's really sad. It was when they were saying goodbye, because we went to see it not long after we lost my mum and dad's dog, and we went to see that, and we were sitting in the pictures, and they were saying goodbye, and I was just like, nope, and I'm and Kev looked at us and went, "Are you crying?" I was like, like that one really got to us.
Oh, bless you. That one's probably passed me by because I liked the first one, but then I didn't watch the others. I don't think it was for me. Are you there, Sam? No, we still can't hear you. Have you tried your phone?
She's gonna have to go on away from him.
Yeah. Bless.
No, the How to Train Your Dragon films, the second one is just, it's beautiful. It's some of the best animation, like the colors and all the different dragons. It's just absolutely stunning. It really is. Like, if I know you and Sam have mentioned before, you're big fans of like color changes and the use of color in films, and I think How to Train Your Dragon is one of the best examples of that, especially in like animation. It's really, really gorgeous.
Cool.
And as I say, it's one of the only trilogies where I've thought, all three endings were perfect.
Yeah. No, I will go back to it. I will give it a go. Oh, we've got a Bev. Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to hear you.
I just messed it up.
Bless you. So how are you?
How are you?
Not bad. A little stressed, but but yeah.
Make it a lot worse for you now then.
Don't worry. So just before we move past onto your topic, Bev, thank you, Charlotte, so much for that hour. Again,
very welcome.
I know we are having a few little technical issues with Sam, so thank you for volunteering to stay on a bit longer. Again, if you've got to go, just jump off. Like I say, I'm sure me and Bev can talk to each other. We've known each other long enough, bless her. But yes, as Bev is new to the podcast, she is a podcast newbie. And as we always do with new guests as well, we want just to tell us a little bit about yourself. So give us a little bit of your nerd credentials, Bev.
Oh, God. I suppose, I just love nerdy stuff. Love Star Wars, love Marvel, just massively into all that type of stuff. Yeah, so not that exciting really, but I definitely belong in this group for sure.
I know. I remember like